Howdy team, it's 8 o'clock in the morning and Angela's still asleep. Good news, the new suspension arrived late yesterday, and so I was able to put the new suspension in into the Honda and give the Honda a quick run up and down the block. Seems okay, so I guess we're gonna find out. We were up till midnight last night packing. As you can see, we're not quite done. Our initial pack revealed that we had just way too much stuff. So we decided to pack it in last night, no pun intended, and get some sleep, and we'll revisit the packing this morning. Fortunately, we don't have a huge distance to travel today, and so a late start isn't going to significantly put us behind.
All right, well, here we are. Fully loaded and ready to go. We're ready for a test ride around the block before we hit the road. It's 11 o'clock, only an hour after we had kind of hoped we'd get out of here. Are you ready?
Ready.
Awesome. All right, let's see what we can do here. Quick spin around the block. And yes, I have a huge top box. More on that later. And yes, I haven't reset the clock on my bike yet. All right, well, here we are. We're successfully on the road, away from home, and on the way to our first stop. As I mentioned in the previous video, we've got several goals we've got set out for this trip, and really the big one is testing out the Honda CRF250L Rally. We've been inspired by several other travelers using this bike, this or the 300, and we thought that we'd give it a shot to see if this is the bike that will work for us. It's something like 125 pounds lighter than the Tenere 700, which is the one we have got some deposits down on. And so that's a big part of this trip here. By the end of this trip, we'll make a determination whether we want to stick with the T7 or we want to switch over to the Honda CRF. So on this trip, we're going to be taking the bike. Primarily, we're going to stick to smaller roads. We're going to stay off the interstates because we want to we don't want to race through it. We want to take our time. We've got shorter days planned than what we would normally ride. I think today's one of our longest days at 220 miles, which frankly isn't that short, but we've got other days that are much shorter than that. We just wanted to get out and get to our first destination. We've got no other activities planned for today. So so far we've got measured out the weight. I've got 65-ish pounds. Well, let's see, 63 pounds with the two side cases, the two panniers, and then the top box itself, I can't remember how much it weighs off the top of my head. It's almost empty, and so I'm gonna guess I got about 70 pounds of luggage on the bike on top of me, and I'm probably, with all my gear, around 220, 225. So we're pushing 300 pounds on the bike, which is still under the gross vehicle weight rating, but not by a whole lot. But that's what we wanted to do, is we want to test this bike out and see whether or not it can manage with the extra weight for us. You know, we're watching Itchy Boots, and we're watching For the Love of Wheels, and those two travelers are much smaller and lighter than I am, so that's our point of departure. Angela's falling behind on the Suzuki. It's what we've been riding for the last 5 or 6 years now, and she just sold hers. We had a matching set. That's a whole nother story. And she's loaded up with probably 90, Angela, is that what you said? 83 pounds of gear between the... Say again? Yeah. Yeah, so she's got about 83 pounds. That's her 2 panniers plus plus the dry bag, and the dry bag has got our huge tent. We did a review on that previously, plus a few other sundry items with tarp, and I think she's got a yoga mat there to go under her air mattress. So definitely way more stuff than we'd prefer to take. We left a few things behind today at the last minute. We got up this morning and repacked, and left a few things behind. I left my bike cover behind because I couldn't figure out how to fit it in amongst all the other things I have. We had another tarp and tarp poles that we were thinking of bringing. Realistically, we don't need it for this trip, but it's something we're going to take on our big trip, because we don't plan to camp for the big trip, but it's nice to have an emergency shelter if we need to, and that's a fairly simple, lightweight shelter. I can't remember the brand name, but you'll see it later on when we use it. The route so far today has taken us on all kinds of roads. Some roads like this one here through small town America, and some of them on a little bit more built up, a little bit faster than we had intended. A couple 60 and 70 mile an hour speed limit roads, but generally we've been able to average about 50 miles an hour for the day, which is nice. The bike seems comfortable at that speed. Although the wind has been pretty strong today. Certainly not Patagonia strong, but strong enough to push us both around. And surprised us on a couple of occasions. But so far the bike's holding up quite nicely. Not a big fan of the size of the... Oops, a little too fast on that turn. Yeah, a little sharp, eh? Oh. Yeah, waved me past. Little kid driving there. Anyways, I was saying, not a big fan of the size of the gas tank. Only got about 125 miles, I believe it was, before I was down to 1 bar, and being that we're in areas where the gas stations are a little bit more spread out, we decided to pull over and get gas at that point in time, and I put in 1.97 gallons. Off the top of my head, I think the tank is a 2.3 gallon tank, so a little bit of gas left in there, but certainly not enough to get us much farther. So on the plus side, we like to stop every hour or so to stretch our legs, and so being able to stop and get gas forces us to do just that. No, sorry, we're going right here. Yeah. No, I was looking at the GPS and there's a left turn coming up, but that wasn't it. Yeah. Oh, stretch the legs a little bit here. No, I believe it's a left. Yeah, it's a left. Whoa. Okay, you know what? Now I'm gonna pull over.
Yeah, we're right back to where I think we were doing a loop.
Where the heck is it taking us?
Alright, well, good evening. Here we are in Surf City, North Carolina. It's dark because we got here and got our camp set up, and by the time we got everything done, the sun is set. But we had a good first day.
Yes, we did.
We got a chance, or at least I got a chance. I rode the Honda today to give her a spin. First impressions, she was fine up to about 50 miles an hour. Over 50, it was a little bit tougher to get her going. I was able to get her up to 60, 65. Probably could have got her going a little bit faster, but I didn't feel comfortable going any faster than that. In part because it was really windy today. We got pushed around a fair bit. I got pushed around a fair bit more than Angela did.
I got pushed around a lot too, but he was in front of me, and every once in a while I'd see him correct as the wind started to take him out and push him into the oncoming traffic.
So, recognizing that the 300 has a little bit more horsepower, we haven't written the bike off just yet, and recognizing that in most places you're not going to be doing 50 and 60 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You'll be doing 30 miles an hour. So it's not a deal killer for sure. Tomorrow Angela's going to get a chance to ride the Honda.
Yeah, we're going to swap out day by day, so we each get to have an experience one after the other on what the other bike is like to ride.
All right, so unfortunately you can't get a good appreciation for how the camp is set up here because again it's dark, but we used the concrete pad that they had set up for the
picnic tables.
The picnic tables.
Yeah.
We use that as our vestibule for this huge Vooz moto tent.
Yeah.
And it's working out really nice so far. Yeah. So to conclude, Angela, what if you learned anything today? What was the one thing you learned today?
My takeaway for today is heated hand grips are the bomb. I've never gotten to use them until today for the first time. Michael's motorcycle has had them for years. Actually, I got them for him as a birthday present like years ago. I just never bothered, and it was so cold today. It was windy and it was so cold, and I put those on. I was wearing my heavy gloves, and happiness came back into my life again because I was so cold. I was starting to tense up. But yeah, heated hand grips. My next bike will absolutely have them. First thing that goes on them. Yeah. Do you have a takeaway, Michael?
Well, yeah, you know, as we were packing and unpacking and repacking, making decisions about what we were going to bring and not bring, I made the decision not to bring any tools. And halfway through the day I realized that the bolt on one of my weather protectors on my handlebars had come loose, and so it was flopping around. And I jammed whatever I could in there to try and tighten it up, and it didn't work at all. And so I started knocking on camper doors.
Yeah, camper doors.
Here in the campground. And I finally found a guy who had something that worked well enough that I could tighten it up. So yeah.
Even a small tool bag, because tools weigh so much, and we were looking at how much weight we were taking, and because this trip is so short, we're only out for like 3.5 weeks or something, so we thought, forget the tools. Maybe not.
We'll figure it out as we go along. Well, we figured out we need tools. Yeah. Hopefully this is the one and only time. Yeah. But there we go. Yeah.
So tonight the temperature is going down to 35 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't think I've ever camped in anything this cold. We're next to the ocean, I guess. Body of water. There's an ocean there. I might be wearing all my clothes to bed tonight. We'll see how that goes. We'll report in the morning.
And we'll see what time we actually get on the road, because it's supposed to be 35 degrees.
35 to 36 degrees until 9 a.m. It doesn't start to come back up in temperature until after that. I'm hoping to hit the road by 9 a.m. But we'll see if there's a little layer of frost on the grass around us. But yeah, it was a good day though. It was a good day.
It was. All right. So if you're enjoying these videos and you want to know when the next one's coming out, make sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. And we'll see you in our next video.